So I think we need to talk about that last scene in Stranger Things. You know the one. If you haven't seen it plastered all over social media by trolls aplenty, then good for you. Now, fair warning, this video has spoilers aplenty, so if you don't want spoilers for Season 5, don't watch Season 5 and then come back and then watch this, because that would be cool. But for those of you who have seen what has been called by critics and fans alike the best season of the series, let's get into what I think is going to happen to our lovable little Will Byers by the end of this series. But before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content by yours truly. It would sincerely help me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. From the moment we see baby Will get scooped up by the Demogorgon in Season 1, we knew this guy was in for a pretty rough series. A survivor through and through, we see Will shivering in Fort Byers, surviving off of snack bars and miracles, juking an interdimensional being for an entire week, and eventually getting nabbed by Vecna, where he was fed baby Demogorgon slugs through the tube for God only knows how long. Upon being rescued by Police Chief Hopper and Will's mom Joyce, we find our ill-fated boy wonder turning into Ronald Weasley after his eat slugs spell backfired.
That's horrible. It's disgusting.
Clearly, he's got some sort of connection to the Upside Down, which we see continued in Season 2 with his Danny Phantom-like Mind Flayer senses. Now, throughout the series, we see this connection grow stronger until it reaches its peak in Season 5. Here, we see Will's uncanny new ability to see everything literally through the perspective of the hive mind. Every Demogorgon's perspective, every attack, every command from Vecna, only now we see Will finally in bloom. No longer the meek, scared little boy he was in the first few seasons. Now we see Will as the sorcerer. He has developed some sort of control over his connection because now he can control the Demogorgons, and more than that, he can lift them up in the air and break every one of their limbs. Does that look familiar? Yeah, that's Vecna's signature finishing move in Season 4. Will has not only taken control, he's taken some of dear old Henry's powers. Now, on the surface, this looks like a great thing. More superpowered badasses to fight off Vecna and the Mind Flayer once and for all, but from a storytelling perspective, this is actually pretty bad news for Will Byers. See, Will is what's called a proxy character. Much like the relationship between Voldemort and Harry Potter, Vecna and Will have a sort of symbiosis. Vecna was using Will to do his bidding in the overworld while he quietly and patiently plotted some big evil in the Upside Down. Now, it's not uncommon to see proxies used by antagonists in stories of all kinds, especially in the horror genre. My go-to example when explaining what this character archetype is would be with Marble Hornets, a popular web series in the late 2000s that helped create the foundation for the Slender Man lore. In the series, Slender Man, or the Operator as he's called, places a sort of curse on our three main characters, Jay, Alex, and Tim. Called the Slender Sickness, it affects each character differently, but one of them, Alex, succumbs to the sickness more heavily than the others. He's eventually kidnapped by the Operator and brainwashed into doing the tall weirdo's bidding. Although he was a protagonist at the start and one of the main characters, he becomes an antagonist as he endlessly and ceaselessly hunts Jay and Tim throughout the series, trying to put an end to their miserable lives. The only way he can be free of this is by eventually meeting with a terrible fate at the hands of his buddy Tim at the end of the series. Oops. See, I told you there would be spoilers, but I bet you weren't expecting spoilers in another series, huh? My bad. Trust me, the spoiler is important because it highlights one important rule that is often used for proxy characters. There's really only two ways out: being vanquished by the heroes of the story, or through glorious self-sacrifice. In the latter half of this season, I can easily see Will doing one of the two. Maybe Vecna discovers Will's new powers and truly possesses him. Maybe he, under Vecna's full control, becomes a secondary antagonist and tries to defeat Eleven and all her friends. Alternatively, he could be the one who protects the town. He could turn on Vecna at the last moment, and like a beautiful little flower fully in bloom, the first victim of Vecna's evil crap is the one who saves the day. I think that the trajectory of Will's fate really depends entirely on what the Duffer Brothers want to do with Eleven as a character. There's been a lot of talk about one of the main characters of the series dying off, and many fan theories have their fingers pointed at Eleven. After all, she's the one who opened the gate. She is tragically and fatalistically bound to Vecna and the Upside Down. It's likely that she'll have to be the one to sacrifice herself to disconnect the Upside Down from Hawkins once and for all. The Chosen One and the main villain perfectly matched in one final showdown that results in the destruction of both of them. If the writers go this route, then Will should be okay. Vecna's influence will leave him once and for all, and he will no longer be the proxy that he's been made to be. No more powers, no more connection, no more danger. He and his friends can go back to the normal life that they had before all of this. But Vecna is one tough cookie, and he's only gotten stronger since we last saw him a year and a half before the events of Season 5. What if our hero fails? What if 11 can't stop him? Or maybe she's actually the one made into the proxy herself. After all, she has a great deal of hatred and anger built up inside her. She uses her powers the same way that Vecna does, conjuring up all of her hatred and her most painful memories. Then she uses them to unleash some devastating attacks, and what if Vecna uses this against her? Then it's up to Will, the unlikeliest of heroes, to put a stop to his reign of terror, and whether that's fighting 11 as she becomes a proxy or facing Vecna himself, Will really has his work cut out for him. Up against them, it's not likely that he's going to survive this if he's the only one who can save the day. And sacrifice is crucial to defining the hero archetype. Will has become our Neville Longbottom, proving to everyone that he's not just some meek schoolboy, but a serious force to be reckoned with. The big reveal of Will harnessing Vecna's power and using it against his army was pretty surprising to say the least, and honestly, I love it. What a great way to morph Will into his own character, no longer constrained by the rules of his mom, or his friends, or society. He's free from their doting, and he's free from the notion that he's made of porcelain. He's strong, and he will show everyone, especially Vecna, that he was the wrong kid to mess with. But as far as his survivability is concerned, I'm a little worried. I don't give his chance of making it out of this series alive a very high percentage. He had a lot going against him before, and now he's got an even grander target on his back. From a literary perspective, the proxy only has so far to go before they're either deemed useless after serving their purpose, when the hero manages to defeat them, or when they turn on the antagonist and sacrifice themselves. Either way, there's really not a lot of ways that Will can make it out of this one in one piece. But ultimately, that's just my opinion. I would love to hear what you all think about this theory in the comments. Please let me know what your own theories are, what you think Will's chances are for surviving it out there. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm really looking forward to uploading this, and I will have more Stranger Things stuff and just more nerdy things in general ready for you all in the future. And if you want to see more of that, please make sure to subscribe to this. Every little bit helps. I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.